Hey everyone, so I am at the Canopy Realtors Association this morning, and instead of doing my normal time of 12:30, I thought that I would let you guys see a little sneak peek of what goes on at the association. So today we are actually having a coffee at Canopy where a lot of the board members are setting up on a panel and they are answering my questions. I'm actually going to go ahead and sneak in. So I hope you guys enjoy.
Do that. I'm a driving license in the mid-90s. I'm just driving to the big old building, right? And I'm just going up to the floor and I'm learning how the sausage is made, right? I was licensed all the way down in the basement when Bill Gallagher used to teach and we used to go across the Midtown Centers to have lunch. I'd take Bill to lunch because here's what I learned. You learn much more at lunch than you do in class. So that's how I got even here. And then I started really figuring out how this is done and why, what the importance of the MLS is, what the importance of the association is, what's the importance of the housing foundation, and all of the things that realtors do. We do it every day, right? We are just absolutely terrible advocates for our own selves. We do not. We make it look too, I almost said an adult word early in the morning. We make it look too dang easy when we make a transaction happen. And so, long story short, someone says, hey Lee, would you run for office? Dave DeSilva was actually here. He was the first guy I ever actually ran against for, I think, an MLS elected seat, and he kicked my blessed assurance. And I learned, oh, you have to campaign. I learned. So it's been over a 20-year process of learning what that looks like. And so, long story short, come along and continue to serve, continue to learn, to continue to get plugged in, to pick up, get on a committee doing MLS advisory. Dang, that is one of the best. I love that. I love that committee because you get to learn all the different things that are going on. I really believe our problem is, as an association, we are victims of our own success. We do such a good dang job. We do such a good dang job of doing our stuff that our members just go, this stuff just works, just magically works. They don't realize how much work is going on here at Pearl Parkway to make it work. So I just don't have the time. I'm sure I'll talk past my time because she's getting me the red card. But I think the thing I learned was I'm incredibly grateful for what this industry has done for me and what's done for my family. And I think too much is given, much is required.
So as I mentioned, I'm Anne Marie Mackenzie and I'm the CEO here. I'm actually on staff. And so I'm not a volunteer. I don't practice real estate. The rest of these five do. My mom was a realtor, so I have a very strong appreciation for what realtors do, but I am not a realtor. So I am on the executive committee, but I do not have a vote. So I think that's important that you know that the only people who have a vote are realtors. So I'm going to turn it over to Al.
Good morning, everyone. I told you that a lot of people ain't morning people in here. That enthusiasm was kind of low. I'm Alan Dargins, and I'm an immigrant from a little small city called Charlotte, North Carolina. And I think I've been licensed since 2001, 2002. And I am also, like Charisma, a graduate of our leadership class. I don't even remember which year I was. I think 2000 something. But I was the first and maybe the only scholarship recipient. I might be the only scholarship recipient. So I was destined to be a servant of this great organization, and now I'm on the exec board. I don't know how they got me to do this. This lady sitting beside me, she can pull blood from a turnip. But I will tell you this, it is rewarding when you come and you see what's going on at the association. We had some people here from 4 different regions recently, and they toured the building. How many people saw the old building? How many people were in the dungeon? Those, so y'all remember. This is like night and day difference, correct?
Yes.
It brightens your mood, it brightens your attitude. This is something that we all can be proud of. And when people come and look at this building and this facility, they are in awe. And we have to be held accountable for what we have. And we also have to be proud of what we have, but at the same time, like we said, much is given, much is required, and we have to uphold our rights and our professionalism in this organization. And I'm a firm believer that if you don't have a solution, don't come with a problem. So if you don't come down here and you're not part of this, when you actually are part of it, please don't bring complaints if you don't have any solutions to bring. We are here to serve. We want you to know us. We want to know you. I know I can't wait to talk about Cynthia later on, but you meet people and these are your coworkers. And at the end of the day, I know you represent one party in the transaction. However, you're supposed to work together to get both parties to the finish line. And that's the job that we're tasked with.
Good morning. My name is Gina Fye, like pie, but with an F. So I'm originally from Kentucky and landed in the Lake Norman area around 2004. Got my license at that point in time. I used to call Kim Walker all the time, bugging her for information. She's a member here, or staff member here at Canopy, and she does a lot with the stats. So I call her all the time, asking her questions. I'm sure I can ask her. So one day, Kim's like, Gina, I really think you need to apply for Leadership Academy. And I was like, well, nobody wants me. I'm a single agent firm owner. Just me, myself, and I. Nobody cares what I have to say. So, after Kim and I talked for a while, she convinced me otherwise. But I accidentally applied for the wrong Leadership Academy, North Carolina. So, got that all straightened out. Got the right application in for the right Leadership Academy. And that was in 2015. Graduated from that, one of the best experiences ever. Now, North Carolina did put me on a committee that year that I accidentally applied. So they decided to have me start doing committees then. But it was such a great experience to be a part of the Leadership Academy. It is a great experience. Same with committees. Apply. You might not get selected the first time, but just be involved. Being involved doesn't mean that you have to be on a committee. Being involved means showing up for Realtor Pack events, coming here like you are today. So, just be involved.
My own personal journey started when I got into real estate, and I was going to be a small firm, and I thought I really need to know a whole lot about what's going on in the real estate business so I don't get in trouble. So I signed up for the Rules and Regulations Committee the first year I was a realtor because I wanted to hear what everyone was complaining about, what the problems were, so that I would steer clear of that. At the time, I also had a good friend in the junior league who was on the foundation here, and she was chairing it. So I stepped in and got on the foundation board, and I spent a lot of time there chairing the Canopy Housing Foundation and Realtors Care Day, as well as being a part of the MLS board, the association board, and then the Housing Opportunity Foundation board when we started back before it became the Canopy Foundation board. So my leadership really came from a starting point of, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm a rule follower, and I always have been, so I wanted to make sure I was doing it right. But as we are getting things started here today, I also wanted to just ask each of our executive committee members a question that will help you learn a little bit more about the association, the MLS, and the foundation. As we go through this, feel free to ask questions as we go, or also wait till the end, and we'll be here to answer any questions you have. Staff will be here as well. So if you're doing the tours, you can ask questions, you can get engaged. Also want to let you know that from here on out, we have several committees that still have the opportunity for you to join throughout the year. The Young Professionals Network, you do not have to be under 40 to join that. So that is there. And then our Diversity and Inclusion Alliance is accepting members throughout the year. Otherwise, committees that we have a lot of great committees that you can be involved in. They aren't things that are going to take a ton of your time. They're going to get you involved, engaged in things that you like. That really rolls September, October. You'll start seeing information about that. So if you've been thinking about signing up for a committee and you have questions between now and then, it's a great time to start asking questions and learning more about the committee. So we appreciate you being here today. Charisma, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Canopy's diversity and inclusion. I know you've been a part of it since its almost inception, 2006. And we have changed it, and it has grown and developed over the years, but you also, I think, chaired it in, was it 07, 08? And your commitment and the long-term movement of that alliance and committee, as well as we had some pretty incredible things happening here earlier this month with the Fair Housing Kickoff. the groups that came together were the Diversity and Inclusion, the Foundation, as well as YPN.
Yes. How many was here for the event we had last month? Okay, let me just tell you. Phenomenal. It was a great event. If you did not join, please join us next year. I would say there was different types of food on every floor. We had food that had an Asian flair, another food that had a Latino flair, and we had another floor that had an African American flair. And let's not forget the DJ on the rooftop. We had community partners through Dream Key to help us with fair housing and to help explain different programs. Just phenomenal. To see this all come together, you'll see a picture with Tiffany and myself. I think we were on the, there we are, on the rooftop dancing with the 360 camera. We had a phenomenal time because, like they said, this has been, I think the initiative, like it came under Doc Munson's presidency year, 2006, and this beautiful lady to the right, Anne Marie, has been very committed. You know, your aide has been very committed to see this whole DIA concept to come through and to see it all come together. Why is DIA important to Canopy? Well, let me just tell you, it helps with leadership development, again, class 2003. It helps with community, and it helps with member outreach. It helps to let everyone know that they're involved, they can have a voice here. It helps with education events, like I just said, that happened last month. It helps with fundraising opportunities for the Canopy Housing Foundation. And we have connections with multicultural partners. We have room and space for everyone. The commitment is so great. Just be a part, be in the room, just show up. We are here for you all with open arms, and we just want you guys to come back and serve with us.
As we talk about fair housing with kickoff and all that Charisma has done, that event tied education and training together with a whole lot of fun. And I think it was one of my favorite events that I've attended since I became a member of Canopy. And I really thought that Realtors Care Day was always going to be my favorite. It still is, because just getting out there and getting to help with unmet housing needs in our community makes a huge difference. And the foundation is always doing that and leaning forward to fill in the gaps where other programs leave holes. And we make a difference every day with you and your support. We couldn't do it without realtors raising up their sleeves and working hard day in and day out. So that is probably, between Fair Housing and the Canopy Housing Foundation, Realtors Care Day, such incredible pieces. And if you have not gotten out and done it, Project Reach is coming up. So that is in June. I invite you to learn more about that. That's a half-day event. It's incredible. But I also know that there's so many pieces that are woven into Canopy. And Anne Marie was the executive director for Ribbit, which I think she needs to define what Ribbit is, and made a difference in what's happening with important issues in our community. It's facing our members, facing the industry, and really how it ties into the association. And it does a lot for us, and I would bet most of us don't even know what Ribbit is. So I wanted Anne Marie to just share a little bit about that.
Thank you, Tiffany. The Real Estate Building Industry Coalition, and here in Charlotte, in our region, we have something fairly unique in the country. We are part of a coalition with the Home Builders Association. We are the two main drivers, in addition to the commercial real estate organizations like CRCVR and NAIOP. But this organization was founded in the 70s, and it has existed independently, but in conjunction with the realtors and the home builders since then. So the easiest way to explain it is, our government affairs department is Ribbit. And the Ribbit executive director right now is Rob Manfeld. He's in the back of the room. Rob, if you could. So there's two different ways, either on the Ribbit Board of Advisors or through the Government Affairs Committee, to get involved directly with public policy. But part of Canopy's mission, or why, is that we are making an impact in the community. And we do that through advocacy and education. And a huge part of the advocacy is through RIBIC. And for years, we used to be criticized by elected officials saying, all you do is bring problems and you don't bring solutions to the table. And I'm proud to say that for the last 2 years, through RIBIC and the efforts of RIBIC and the Government Affairs Committee, we have a very strong agenda to address affordable housing issues. And we can no longer be criticized for not having solutions, because we do have solutions, and we are making headway. We're actually making an impact with what used to be the Charlotte Chamber, now the Regional Business Alliance. They are lockstep with RIBIC on this, and honestly, for some of the issues that need to be taken care of at the state level, our county commission and our city council are lockstep with RIBIC. So we've made a huge amount of progress, putting realtors at the forefront of solving the problems of affordable housing. And there's no one easy solution. We need all of this to happen, but every little bit is going to help with that affordable housing issue and the shortage of housing as well. So the home builders, right with us. Recently, RIBIC has initiated a program where they're calling it a local political coordinator. So I encourage all of you guys, if you have a relationship with a city council, a town council, if you don't live in Charlotte, a county commissioner, RIBIC wants to know who that is and who you are, so that we will have a realtor attached to all the elected officials in the region, so that when we have an issue that's important to the realtors, that we are able to call that realtor and say, could you please talk to your councilman, could you talk to your city council member? And so Rob is collecting names, and if you could get with Rob, if you know someone, it would be very helpful, because we really want to get that list coordinated. This is also done at the state level and at the national level, so we want to replicate that, but also really have a really strong local political coordinator event. So I think I covered most everything about RIBIC in a nutshell. There's a lot more to RIBIC, but I encourage you guys to take a look at that. And I'm gonna.
Our past president, Lee Allen, he's also current Region 8 trustee for RPAC, which is Realtors Political Action Committee. And I wanted to kind of share a little bit about why it's important for you to know about RPAC, for you to give, just from a participation standpoint, to make a difference in our community.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie. So you hear, we're the world's worst at acronyms, right? We throw these letters out there and we're like, oh, you got your client, and you're saying, hey, all I hear is blah, 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 blah. RPAC, I don't use RPAC very much as an acronym. I tend to say the Realtor Party. And what I mean by that is I believe strongly in advocacy. I believe in the foundation. The foundation fills those holes. RPAC is part of the continuum of that. If I can fix some problems at the very front with legislation and policy, I might be able to address other things further down and even make those dollars go further. And that's really what the Realtor Party does. The Realtor Party is really sort of like the wingman for Realtor Party candidates. And the idea is they come alongside and pick and choose who is friendly to the real estate industry. And as a result, let's make sure we keep in the room, very much like Hamilton. Anybody seen Hamilton? I'm going to be in the room where it happens. Here's what I've learned. If you're not at the table having a conversation with those folks when policy and legislation is being done, you're on the chopping block. You're on the plate. That's the way this works. There's several ways to participate in the Realtor Party. You can just participate. It's $25, or it's $35, or it's $50, or it's $100. You can be what they call a major investor. It's $1,000. The point really is the amount of things that policy can do. The Realtor Party, many of you guys may not know, the Realtor Party is the largest PAC in North Carolina. When we show up to Raleigh, they go, oh, they're here. They are. I was standing in the legislative room. Jennifer Frontier was one of the other trustees with me, a past president here at Canopy. And literally the chair of the finance committee sought us out to say, hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but you know that thing called a privilege tax? You all get it, that little $50 thing? We call it a nuisance tax. Because realtors pay 68% of all those privilege fees. We actually pay that. And he said, I went ahead and we put that in the budget, we're taking that out. You won't have to pay it next year. Shut up, okay. It's those little things that if you're not in the room, if you're not there having that conversation, but everyone should participate. It's just part of the housing continuum. There are several things you can see there. Any of you guys that were practicing in 2020 know that real estate was deemed non-essential. And they were like, y'all stay home. And then I had clients that were going, dude, I gotta close it in a week. What am I doing? And my stuff's on a truck. Right? We had to go lobby for those efforts, and that's where the Realtor Party comes alongside and says, hey, let's work together, we need to make this work. There's a lot of things. If you may not know, mortgage interest deduction was actually on the chopping block to be eliminated, and because of your hard work, it's not. Now, interesting thing, all those funds, you go, where's all that money go, right? Does it go to this or that? It typically gets split. We share a lot. It's split in federal, state, and local candidates. If candidate meets their goal, and candidate's got a big goal, $400,000. That's real money. That's adult money in my book. But if we meet our goal, 30% of all those funds come back to fund a local candidate here. And we're not going to give it all to one, but we can say, hey, that's a real issue. Rob, what do you think? Oh, that's a real issue. That's a real issue. And we work together in conjunction. So all I'd say is if you've got questions, ask me about the Realtor Party. Everyone should be at least at the table as a participant.
You're welcome, and we want you at the table. It's important. Lee wants to pass a plate. I think we have it squared. I can have it in his pocket and you can pull it later if you so choose to investigate. But it is important that we all are giving back. One of the stats that we had that was on one of our banners last year said, if you made $55,000 this year, with what RPAC did, they saved you $8,000 between taxes and a number of things relative to pressures that they're getting at the legislature to put more money out of our pocket. So the more we can have the support and the dedication there to make a difference for ourselves, the property rights for our clients, it's huge. And so oftentimes we hear, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, this is a Realtor Party. It's for everybody. It's for us, it's for property rights. So please consider giving. It's a huge piece. We have a lot of MLS tools. There's probably resources that you don't even realize MLS offers. And I just wanted to ask Gina, what are the tools that you find most useful in your business? And what do you think is the most underutilized here at DMV?
I want to start off by saying we first, get our license and we're signing up and doing everything. We were so excited, and the only thing we're focused on is the MLS. And I think honestly that's really what we all focus on all the time anyway. We forget that the association is separate from the MLS and provides a lot of valuable information. So the association interprets the data from the MLS. So I just want to put that in there for just a second. But for me, as a small firm broker owner, independent, I love Sandstool. Now you go in there and play with Sandstool, but again, then we get the grab and go and all this bunch of great stuff. The data is interpreted by the association. So that's one of my favorite tools is SAMS. One of my other favorite tools that I think is the most underutilized is Remon.
That committee and events. Can you tell me a little bit about us, what you think is going to happen professionalism-wise in our industry, and what we can do for you to improve professionalism?
The first thing, I like to stand up because I'm short, and that chair gives me a compliment. The first thing I want everybody to remember in this room is you are not a real estate agent. You are a realtor. And when you put that R on your chest that they allow you to wear because you are held to a higher standard, you agree to act with a certain level of professionalism. Not just to your clients or the public or to the customer, but you agree to act with a certain level of professionalism towards each other. And with the advancement of ChatGPT, yeah, which is amazing. And text messaging and the other tools that we use that eliminates the verbal communication from one to another, things can get interpreted wrong. You have to be aware that picking up the phone is always going to be around and is the best way of communication that we have. No matter artificial intelligence, no matter what tools are out there, professional standards, that can be scary. It's like going to see the principal sometimes. But however, professional standards is needed, and I don't know, it's up there. So the purpose is to review violations and hear from subscribers to determine the best approach in preventing further violations and rules of the regulations. It is not the goal of professional standards to punish anybody, fine anybody. We would rather not see anybody. However, it is a necessary tool to remind us that our professionalism is at the forefront. Because if we can't be professional with each other, how can we be professional doing the deal? Because I represent the buyer, Lee represents the seller. He's gonna fight for his seller, I'm gonna fight for my buyer, but at the end of the day, we should be able to be cordial enough that if we have a disagreement or if something comes up, we can talk it out. Because we are professionals and we are realtors and not real estate agents. Last year, 2022, 39 ethics complaints were received. Out of those ethics complaints, we had 16 hearings. Some didn't go well for some people. There were some fines. And some of these are just relationship 85–90% of just relationship that we didn't have to hear that we didn't really have to be there if the two people could have worked it out. I didn't know I was gonna tell the story today, but you know, I just, whatever comes up, I told Courtney today, whatever comes, I turned 50, so whatever comes up, comes out. 6 years ago, this morning I ran into somebody, Cynthia Wiley, and 6 years ago, we did a deal together. You just getting into real estate, right, Cynthia? And her son was buying a townhome in Arizona, which you know he's sitting on a lot of money right now. He's sitting at a townhome. She came to me this morning and said that, because I sent her a message after the deal, and I said, this has been the best deal, thank you for your professionalism. And you never know what a kind word to somebody will do. We're always quick to down somebody and tell them what they're doing wrong. Give people their flowers while they live. And she did such an excellent job. I didn't even know she was new. She did such an excellent job, and she told me this morning that word kept her doing real estate, or encouraged her to keep doing real estate. And y'all, I'm just me, like I said, I'm an immigrant from Charlotte, North Carolina, small city. But you gotta treat people like you want to be treated. There's avenues to make a lot of money in real estate, but do it the right way. Don't tear somebody down and build yourself up, because y'all both can go up the ladder together. And you never know when you're gonna have to go across that bridge again. So I would encourage you, don't go to professional standards hearings unless you're on the board or the committee. One thing that I just want you to remember is that you're not a real estate agent. You're held to a higher standard. And that higher standard requires you to be professional. We won't accept anything less. And you shouldn't offer anything less. It's not what you signed up for.
As we continue to plan, that we're doing presentations and providing information that will make a difference in your career and what you're doing day in and day out. And it's important that we hear you and that you feel heard. And so that's why we started today.